going, guys? This is Fiery Fox again here, and welcome back to the Crazy Cooking Vlog. Now, today we are going to be teaching you how to make shepherd's pie, which is actually a recommendation from Mummy. So, we are actually using a recipe from an old-fashioned cookbook from way back in, I think, the 80s or something like that. It's actually from the Canadian the Canadian Heart Foundation. Actually put this cookbook out, so it's probably going to be pretty tasty, and it's actually low in calories and all that other stuff, so it's actually good for you. Anyways, without further ado, let's get cooking. So this is actually the cookbook that we were looking at, or that we're getting the recipe from. So it actually has the seal of Canadian approval on it, which is kind of funny. But yeah, it's family favorite shepherd's pie. So the only problem is, like with any other video that we make, we are kind of doing a little bit of a twist on it, just because we either don't have the stuff, or I thought I had the stuff and then we ended up not having the stuff. So, or it ended up going bad like our potatoes did. I don't know how that happened. I just bought them like a week ago and they were perfectly fine. But anyways, so what you're actually going to need is vegetables. These are actually California style vegetables. It's a mixture of California style vegetables that I actually put through the food processor real quick, just to kind of make them a little bit more bite-sized pieces. So they're just sitting in water, just kind of draining a little bit right now. And then so you're gonna need so you're gonna probably need about a cup of that, a cup of vegetables, fairly well minced. You need 2 teaspoons of minced garlic, or 2 cloves of minced garlic. Actually, which would probably be about 2.5 technically with my settings. Worcestershire sauce, or Worcestershire, like my wife says. Thyme. We're gonna need some thyme. It actually suggests to have 2 onions, but what you guys should already know, I don't like onions, so we're using onion powder. And I'm probably going to use all of that. So generally, the way that I usually do the onion powder is about 2 tablespoons equals about one medium onion, and they call for 2 onions in this. So you're also going to need paprika for garnish, and fresh black pepper, which I'm going to use peppermill for that. And my own little twist on this is, every single time that I ever anytime that I ever had shepherd's pie when I was a kid, it always had cheese over the top. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I have my extra old cheddar here, and I'm going to grate a little bit of that up and put it all over the top, just for a nice little hard crust at the end. You're also going to need at least 1 container of tomato paste, or a can of tomato, it's a can of tomato sauce, whatever kind you want. The only reason why they recommend a tomato paste is because it has actually less sodium in it than a regular can of tomato paste, or tomato sauce. So that's pretty much everything that you're going to need, so it's going to be nice and easy. You're also going to need potatoes, which mashed potatoes. They call for 2 cups of mashed potatoes. We're actually using 4 cups of mashed potatoes, and these are just regular box potatoes because, like I said before, our potatoes went bad, so I got my wife to make up some boxed potatoes. What my dad's actually tried a couple times is the flavored mashed potatoes. I would strongly advise against that, just because when he did it, he did not choose the right kind of potatoes. So yeah, it ended up not tasting very good at all. Plus, if you're going to do it with the box potatoes, make sure to reduce the amount of liquids that you put in there just by a little bit, so that it comes out a little bit thicker. Because once you put it in the oven, some of that water will kind of like seep out of the potatoes and will actually kind of mush into everything else and make it soupy, which is the other thing that happened the last time that my dad made shepherd's pie. So, a couple of little tips. And you're also going to need 1 pound of ground beef, which I've already cooked up. It's already it's already drained from all the grease and it's already ready to go. So this is actually 2 pounds because I'm actually going to be duplicating everything. So it's all going to be 2 in 1. So if you want to follow along with the double batch with me, then just kind of follow along as much as you can. Otherwise, just kind of take everything that I have and just half it for the most part. All right. So we will get everything all set up and be right back. Okay. All right. So we've got everything all sorted out. We've got everything set up. I've got the heat back on the meat just so that I can kind of warm it up a little bit more. And what we're actually going to be doing is we're going to be taking our garlic, our onion powder, and our vegetables and stuffing them all into the pot. This is actually fairly easy considering. Basically everything that you do is just literally like this. There's one. That's all the rest of my onion powder. We're just going to dump all of that in there. That was probably about 2 tablespoons-ish. So there's our 2 onions. Garlic, one heaping teaspoon. 2 heaping teaspoons. Okay, hang on. 3 heaping teaspoons. And 4 is not as heaping. Hang on.
4 is not as heaping.
There, done. So that's good for the garlic. Now what you want to do with that is you just stir it in together and simmer it until everything kind of mixes together real nicely. We're just going to take this, stir it all up, stir it all together. Now if you're going to be doing this with the same amount of stuff that I had approximately, I'd have to say 2 cups of vegetables, which is why I said if you're going to do just the one serving, do about 1 cup of vegetables, so chopped vegetables, or you can do just straight carrots, or you can do carrots and peas. It doesn't really matter. It's all up to you. So, oh god, that's already starting to smell really good. All right, once that all gets all mixed together and starts heating up, what you want to do is start adding in the rest of the seasonings. So, we're probably going to do that right about now, because I've already basically heated up all of this stuff. It's all ready to go, all good. And I'm just going to let that simmer for a little bit. Just turn down the temperature just a tad. So the next thing that you're going to be needing is your tomato paste. I've got 2 cans of tomato paste, and basically what we end up having to do is do about for every can of tomato paste, it's about Mummy, I thought you told me that these were 100 or 75 grams. They're 150 milliliters. That was 1 can. So technically, if you're doing one, if you're going for, double check to make sure that you're not doing this overboard. I just opened up 2 cans for no reason. All that I needed was 1 can because you only need 750 or 75 milliliters of the tomato paste. This is exactly double the amount that I need. So I'm going to take that and just spoon that in there. I'm going to use the spoon from the garlic because I'm not going to be using the garlic anymore. I'm just going to spoon that in there real quick. Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce. Your black pepper. And your thyme. So there's about...
Thyme first.
Yeah. We're going to be using about a teaspoon of thyme. So that's about...
Thyme looks green.
Yes. About a teaspoon of thyme.
Why do we need a teaspoon of thyme?
Well, that's
as in like the clock?
Yeah.
Clock
1 teaspoon of thyme. Actually, we need actually 2. Whoops.
Whoops.
That's 1. There. 2 teaspoons of thyme. There we go. Done. Because time is money, and this is going to taste amazing.
No, get it?
This is going to taste like $1,000,000.
Get it? Time?
Yeah, exactly. Time is money, and this is going to make it. Time will make this taste like $1,000,000.
Whee.
All right, and for the Worcestershire sauce, it says. Whoops, that was all over my hand. 2 teaspoons.
Wash out.
2 teaspoons. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tap the bottom. This is a glass container, by the way. Just tap the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. I'm just going to stir this up because I still have the heat on. I'm just going to stir it up a little bit. Oh my goodness, this is already starting to smell amazing.
And this looks weird.
Oh, that's because we're supposed to put in the water and I haven't gotten to that point yet. So the tomato paste is actually making it very, very difficult to stir. And for the pepper, it's calling for, 2 tablespoons of pepper as well. And paprika. Cool. So, 2 teaspoons. We're doing 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Done. That's it. That's all we need. Stir that up.
Where did it go? All go inside the holes.
Yeah, it just mixes in. It doesn't. It's not that much. And considering our pepper is actually pretty strong, so I don't really want to add too much to it, or else it's not going to end up, or it's going to kind of overpower the flavor. So when you're using actual peppercorn, always, I don't know if I've said this before, but always be careful to make sure that you don't overpower your stuff. There's not too many people that I know that actually enjoy that much black pepper that they would want to just eat the stuff straight out of the container. And I've had dishes where somebody went a little overboard, and that's exactly what it tasted like. It tasted like just opening this thing up and just eating. Yeah, so the other thing that we need is 1 1¼ tablespoon, or 1 1/4 cups of water. So we're just going to do that.
Yeah.
Add that in. That's 1. And for the 1/4 cup, I'm just going to use 4 tablespoons, or 3 tablespoons. That's 1. So 2, and 1 more, and a 3. So that's all the water that you need, and that should mix in with the tomato paste and make a nice sauce. And like I said, if you want to use tomato sauce, that's fine too. It's perfectly fine. It does kind of increase the not so good for you ratio, but most people don't care about that.
Is it easier to stir?
Oh yeah, it's much easier now. But it's also starting to turn into a nice paste, so we're actually, it's turning out really, really nicely. So once all that's in, basically you just let it simmer, stir it and simmer it for about 5 minutes, or until it's heated all the way through. And then you put it into the pan. So we'll cut to the next section, which is going to be us putting this into the pan. Okay, so my son, who is actually behind the camera right now, he had a pretty decent idea about because we're going to be putting the cheese on top of the shepherd's pie as garnish. We're not going to be using the paprika on the top, so we're going to actually take this and put it inside. So there's about 2 tablespoons of that, or 2 teaspoons of that, should I say? So we're gonna, there we go. That's about 1 teaspoon. There we go. About 1 more teaspoon of that. There we go. 1 more super heaping tablespoon, or teaspoon, and put that all in there. And we're gonna mix it up. Now, the other thing that I did while we were gone as well was that I also preheated the oven to 375 degrees, and I took out the pans. Stupid pans.
Pans.
Dumb pans. Anyways, yeah, I really gotta get like a thing to hang them up or something like that. I don't know, but it's kind of a pain in the butt to have them in the oven all the time. But anyways, we're just gonna stir that up, stir that in until it's pretty much all gone, and then what we're gonna do is take this over to the table and start putting it into the pans. So, Anthony, if you want to go show them the 2 pans that we have, this is the one that we're probably going to be using. It says to use in the recipe. It says to use a 2-liter pan. That is just over 2 liters. It's actually almost 3 liters. It's 3 quarts. But so we have the smaller one that we use for pretty much everything else that we cook for. There we go. Thank you. And
Hello.
so we're gonna fill this one up first, and then anything else that we have left is gonna go straight into this one. And I'm gonna take that off, turn off your burner, I'm gonna put that down, and we're just gonna start spooning this in with the ladle that we've been using the whole time. And we're just gonna start spooning it in to the bottom of the pan. And depending on how much you like the meat sauce, or depending on how much you like potatoes or whatnot, you can switch up the difference in the sizes. I'm not going to tell you how much to put in. We're going to be doing about an inch, but yeah, about an inch of meat and then about another inch of potatoes. So it's fairly even. And then you just want to spread that around until it makes a nice base. You can actually do this as single servings as well if you don't want to use the whole pan, like a big pan. If you don't have a big pan like this, you can always use smaller ones. I actually have a few of these ones like this, and you can actually use that instead and just fill it half and half, and then cook them that way as well. And then you can put the lid back on top of them and take them for lunch and stuff. But I guess you could do technically the same thing with these once it's cool. You can cut it all up and put it into little containers for your lunches and that kind of thing. But that is basically all that I'm going to be doing for this one. And so I'm going to take the rest of this, pile this in. Whoops. Pile this in right into this one here. So, when those are all done, you can either use the same, you basically want to just swap out the two things, just like that.
Those smell yummy.
Try and clean off as much of that as possible. Did I just nail you?
I think so.
I think I nailed the camera too, just a little bit. Uh-oh.
No, you didn't.
Alright, and then you basically do the same thing with the potatoes. These are actually, the potatoes would actually be easier to manage with not a spoon, but with a
knife,
a spatula. If you have like a cake spatula or something like that.
But we're already using a spoon. So
yeah, I'm already using a spoon, and my policy is don't waste cutlery.
dishes.
Don't waste dishes. It's extra energy that you have to put into putting it into the dishwasher. It's extra energy that you have to exert by,
washing
it if you don't have a dishwasher. So, oh my goodness, these are actually really tough to use. And it doesn't look like I have enough.
Yeah.
So we may actually have to make up some more. And while you're doing this, just try and make sure that you maybe don't do what I did and splatter them all in one spot. Maybe space them out in smaller clumps. Probably make it easier. There's that one. And I'm going to just kind of finish up on this one. And then, because I have a funny feeling that this is not going to be enough potatoes to cover that whole one. Okay, I'm just going to take my finger and spread this out just a tad bit more so it's nice and even. And then we're going to finish it off with the cheese. So if you're using packaged potatoes, make sure that you have enough, because I didn't double check the amount of mashed potatoes that we had before we started cooking. Apparently we needed just a little bit more, and I didn't have it. So
it looks so good.
We're just going to take the cheese and just evenly spread the cheese right across the top. And it looks like I actually don't have enough cheese either, but I kind of figured that out. You don't have to cover the whole thing because the cheese will melt and kind of spread everywhere, but that's basically it.
Wee,
there we
popcorn.
go. All done.
I'm like, wee,
Spread
popcorn.
that out just a little bit better so it hits the corners. And then, once that's all done, you take it and you put it in the oven at the 375. At the 375 over there for
375.
for 30 5 minutes. 35 minutes. So when we come back, this should be all done, and we'll show you what it looks like at the end. All right. So we're back, and we have our pizza, our shepherd's pie, not pizza, shepherd's pie, all ready to go. It's actually literally just came out of the oven. I would strongly advise like letting it set for about 5 minutes at least. 5 minutes at least before you start eating it, just to kind of let it cool down a little bit. Plates would probably be better, not bowls. Actually, what we've done with the second one, we did actually have to get more potatoes. So what we ended up actually doing, because this was actually my son's idea, was take half of it, put it on cheese so it looks exactly like this, and the other half is just going to be completely plain, and we'll see how that works too. But this one also has about 5 or 6 spoonfuls more potatoes on it as well, so it's actually quite a bit thicker. If you can see that, it's actually quite a bit thicker of potatoes as well. So we'll see how well that one goes. That one's going to go straight into the oven now, and we'll deal with the other one for
later.
For now, for the end of this episode. That one is going to sit in there for 35 minutes and cook up, and we are actually going to do this one. So I need a spatula. Well, I'm using the butterfly one. I hate this bloody thing, but you know what? It'll work in a pinch. So I'm just going to cut straight down there. Oh yeah, and I didn't cover it or anything like that, so that the cheese can actually crisp up, and the rest of the moisture and everything like that can escape, so it doesn't turn into goop. So hopefully this actually worked, and this is not goop. So I'm going to take a small little piece out from the side here. This
and I'm gonna watch it come out.
This kind of feels a little bit, and I don't like this spatula.
And you got it.
Oh goodness. Yeah, watch your fingers on the sides of these things too. Oh, there you go. That actually turned out really well.
Mine turned out really good until the end. Until it came off.
Ouch. What are you doing? Okay.
I'm trying to look for the front.
Yeah,
That's
don't worry about
butt.
it. That one's the first one. The first one never comes out right. The first one never comes out right, so don't worry about it. Don't worry about the first one being like super good looking or anything like that. I'm gonna add a little bit more to there.
Hello.
But I can already tell you right now that the inside flavor is fantastic. Exactly what I was expecting it to be. And we'll give Anthony that piece.
Beautiful.
Scrape that off. There you go.
Came out that way.
And this one should actually be even better than both of them. Just cut down the sides, get rid of the cheese, and the crusty potatoes, which is exactly what you want. And actually, if you do this with real potatoes instead of box potatoes, the potatoes will actually crisp up even more. And look at that. That
Whoa.
is a nice cross section of the potato. Well, I'll wait until I messed it up.
All the way till it looks like chocolate.
See?
No, seriously,
There
it
you
looks
go.
like chocolate from back here.
There you go. Perfect cross section of the meat. There you go. That's beautiful. So I'm just going to cut
Looks
a couple more
marvelous.
pieces. And there you go.
That's
Can I
that.
get this one out?
Yep.
With all the stuff on it. That turned out pretty decent, considering. I'm just going to take all the rest of this stuff as well. Just move that off to the side of the plate. The presentation isn't 100% everything. Flavor, I find, is probably the best. I have also had a lot of weird, gross looking food that have come out tasting absolutely amazing. So when it comes out looking like that, and you get the nice cross section and everything like that, just be happy that it didn't turn out just be happy that it didn't turn out looking like a big pile of turd, kind of like that. Yeah, or the first one that came out. But like I said, the first one's always going to look like that. So maybe make a side for yourself or something like that before you start dishing it out. If you really care that much about the presentation. Anytime that you make like a casserole like this, unless you have a not a butterfly thing. But let me give this a shot. This looks amazing. And then I'm gonna take over the. Hey.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you pay attention and I'll take it over and you guys can try it, okay? So I'm gonna take this. Potatoes are so hot. Oh my goodness.
How do you like it?
But that is exactly what I was expecting it to taste like. That is like almost restaurant quality. That's perfect. Not too much of anything, and everything kind of, all the flavors kind of come out really nicely. Give it a shot, mister, because you're the one that actually helped with this. Get a nice cross section of everything, because it tastes way better that way. There you go. Nice big piece like that. It's really, really hot though.
Phenomenal.
It does taste really good, eh?
Yeah.
You don't like it. She's also in a bad mood, so that makes sense as to why she doesn't like it. But anyways.
No, I like it. It's just I don't like the meat too clean.
Anyways, give it a shot for yourself. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. I personally enjoy this a lot, and I haven't had this in a very, very long time. And I do remember the last time that I had it, actually, I didn't like it. So it's an interesting concept that this actually turned out really well. And it's from the Canadian Heart Foundation, which you would assume would be like more of like a Weight Watchers kind of deal. But it turned out really, really good, and I'm super surprised. But thanks guys for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button if you like this kind of stuff, and definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. And leave me some comments down below, letting me know what kind of stuff that you guys want to see us try next, or what kind of stuff that you guys want to see us make on the channel. Because, yeah, I'm open to suggestions. But, till the next video, take her easy. This will hopefully fix that issue. And then we can use that. Yeah, just like this. On. Yeah, there we go. This is working out perfectly.